CC, CEO, wanna change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a gold builder. I can teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychology black-owned firm, but we ain't all black.
Oh my God. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Constance Carter. My screen is not looking right. That's a little bit better. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Constance Carter. And this is the Grow Your Money podcast, where we talk about not only how to grow your money, but how to blow your money. No, not blow your money. I want to teach you how to grow your money and not blow your money. Why? Because if you blow your money, it's not a damn thing funny. So listen, everybody, it's Money Monday, and we're going to talk about some money today. But first, I don't know if this is your first time here. I don't got my glasses on. I don't know if this is your first time here, but if this is your first time here, I need you to drop in the comments that this is my first time here. It's my first time joining Constance and the crew and my loyal people who be here with me every day. You know, I appreciate it. I really do appreciate you guys coming on here with me every day. And listen, if you want to come and have a direct dialogue, I want you to come on with okay, I'm having some technical. I've sent this invitation to you all many times, and nobody has taken me up on this just yet. But I'm waiting on that one brave soul to come on here and talk to me. And even if you don't want to get on camera, if you have a question that you'd like to ask, come on here and go to talk black the number 2 me.com so we can actually have an engaging conversation. I would totally love to do that with you. So if you want to come on here and you have a question or you have a comment or you want to get on here live, come on talkblack2me.com and hop in the studio with me and we can chop it up in real time. But if not, you know what? Listen, you being in the comments is good enough for me. And that's the way this works. So I don't know if this is your first time here, but if this is your first time here, the way this works is that this is a dialogue and not a monologue. What does that mean? It means that I love to have engaging conversations with you. So it works because you are with me. Let's see. No. Jahari ain't even Jahari, who'd be in the back. She's trying to ask me where I'm at. I'm in here. So I like to interact. This is a dialogue and not a monologue. So I love to interact with you live. So I love your comments. I see you there. The other thing is I want to know where you're watching from. So I know we have Miss Sophia. I love me some Miss Sophia because let me tell you something. She's a part of Net 7 Nation. She didn't taken the training. She's part of the Grow Your Money Club. She's part of the Fly Nubian Money Club. Like, she is really investing in herself because she wants to change the life of herself and her family, and that makes me so proud. So good morning, Miss Sophia from Stockton, California. What's up, Anthony? Is this your first, Anthony, is this your first time with us? I'm not sure. Let me know. Hey, listen, J-Lo or Joe reposted this stream. I appreciate it. I don't know if you reposted it in the strip club though, but hey, post it everywhere because everybody needs to learn about financial literacy. I see you, Dennis Spraggins. What's happening? What's going on, Top Notch Rocker? Rock out with your socks out. I'm not going to say the other thing. From Clarksville, Tennessee. And, you know, I love you, Tamara, from South Carolina. And so listen, I've gotten that out the way. The last and final thing is if you are a Black-owned business or you know of a Black-owned business, please put them in the comments, and not only just put their name in the comments, where can they patronize them from? So what's their website? What is how do we get in contact with them? Because here's the thing. We have to start supporting Black-owned businesses. There is a direct effort to destroy Black-owned businesses, to destroy Black history, to destroy our culture that we have grown and we've cultivated by virtue of being in this country for 400 years. We've grown and built quite a culture as Black people, as foundational Black Americans, right? As African Americans, as Black folk. We have quite a unique culture and a unique history that was birthed out of a lot of struggle, pain, joy, love, all the good things, right? All the things. We are not a monolith. We are all those things. And so there's an effort to destroy. And one thing that we know to be true, and if this is your first time on here, and if this is your first time hearing me say this, I need to let you know that there is not enough Black owned businesses. Let me tell you again, there's not enough Black owned businesses. We know that the dollar that we have, if we were a nation, we will be the fourth largest nation, Black people, because of our spending power. We have $2 trillion in spending power as of 2025. Our GDP is bigger and larger than Spain. Okay. The country of Spain. Black people spend more than the country of Spain. So we will be the fourth largest country. Yet we only spend with our people 6 hours. Okay. So while in other communities, they spend in their communities 30 days, 20 days, 17 days, 11 days, Black people don't spend in their communities. But here's the thing that a lot of people don't, because you hear that all the time, right? You hear all of these statistics about what our spending is. We know that we got the money. We're not broke. I heard Dr. Boy say, we're not broke because we're paying our bills. We're not broke because we're buying necessities. We're getting our hair done. We're not broke people. We're just not spending with each other. But here's the thing. We're not spending with each other, but because we cannot spend with each other because there's not enough Black businesses to spend with. And I really, truly believe as Black people that if we had more businesses, that we would spend with each other. Less than 3% of businesses in Black communities are Black owned. So you go to Black communities and you see every other community represented in our communities that are pillaging our communities. But you will not go to a white, an Arab, a Hispanic, an Asian, a Jewish community and see a Black owned business. Why is that? So we got to get in the mindset of becoming the lender and not the borrower, the investor and not the spender. We have to change that mindset. But we can build Black businesses. We have to use collective economics, because I don't know if you know that less than 1% of all venture capital funding goes to Black people. So now you had Fearless Fund. My friend Arian Simone, I know her personally. She had a fund, a venture capital fund specifically for Black women, and it was deemed to be illegal when we know that less than 1% of funding goes to Black people. It's like you can mess with everybody. Why are you coming after us? We just trying to get a fair shake. We just trying to get some equity up in this motherfucker. And everything that we have, you try to take away from us. They're getting all the venture capital funding, but we have one company that's dedicated to Black women, and you want to take it away. Black companies, Black businesses, they get their lion's share of contracts through the federal government. And we have things like 8A or MBA, Minority Business Associations, or Women's WOSB. You have all of these that are to guarantee that a small specific percentage of contracts go to Black businesses, and they're trying to take those things away. We're just trying to get a small piece of the pie. But the way that we stop begging and try to get a piece of a pie off of somebody else's table is that we build our own table. We create our own businesses. And then more importantly, we support our businesses. I don't buy into the ideal that Black people don't do good business and that Black people don't support Black owned businesses. And so it's important that if you are a Black business or you know a Black business, put it in the comments. And I want to make sure that we are patronizing each other on a level so that we can be successful Black businesses, so we can be sustainable Black businesses, so we could pass our Black businesses to other people. That's the reason why I come here every day, is because I want to support and promote Black affluence, Black excellence, Black businesses, all things Black. That's why I come here, and very unapologetic about it. Very unapologetic about my Blackness. And I don't care who I offend, and I'm not here to offend anybody. I'm here to uplift people who look like me, who've been marginalized, who've been underserved. And that's what this topic is going to be about today. Is I want you to learn how to avoid being a victim of predatory lending, because not only did it happen in the past, y'all, it's happening today. So what I need you to do right now, is I need you to tell everybody. First of all, I need you to like this, like my live, and then I want you to share it with your friends and family, because this is information that everybody needs so that we can become educated and we can make educated decisions. I do have some solutions for us, but before we can get there, we got to be educated on it. So make sure you share this out to everybody. Let everybody know we live, baby. Okay. But before we get there, now if this is your first time on Mondays, this is Money Mondays. I'd like to normally see what the hell y'all been doing over the weekend. So before we get into it, before we hop into it, what y'all did this weekend? What did you guys do? Let me know. First time tuning in. What's up, Lee Carfier? Welcome to the family. What's happening? What you guys do this weekend? Sophia, I know you always have something great that you doing. What y'all do this weekend? Let me tell you what I did. So on Saturday. Oh, what's up, Derek, Shirley? So on Saturday, let me show you guys. Okay, y'all. So you know I'm Barbara the Builder, right? And oh, by the way, if you want to get on here live with me, go to talkblack2me.com and we can do, I can answer any of your questions live. If you want to hop on, you don't even got to turn the camera on. But if you want to hop on with me and you have some questions, I'm happy to talk to you. But check this out here. So on Saturday, y'all, and I'm going to get right to it because I want to get to the topic. But on Saturday, I decided, I've been, I'm Barbara the Builder. I've been fixing up my house. I bought this house back in November of last year. So I've been here almost a year and I bought a fixer-upper. So this is a fixer-upper in Bowie, Maryland. It's $1 million home, but it needs a lot of work. And I got a really great deal on it. So I've been doing some stuff myself. Right. So I've been, Barbara the Builder. So what first prompted me, to start doing this stuff is I was waiting on a contractor to come over to do something and he was just taking forever. He had a bunch of, stuff going on because a lot of people are busy. And so I was like, you know what? I saw some lady on the internet doing some stuff. I was like, I could do it myself. And so that kind of started my whole thing of like building things. So I did my floors in my kitchen. I did the floors in the front room. I put in the lip family room. I put light fixtures up. I built this desk that I have. I built, dressers. And so all this. So I've been kind of working upstairs. Now I have a basement that has 4 or 5 more bedrooms. So my daughter sleeps in the basement. It has a family room, got a kitchen. There's one room that's going to be a theater room. So it's all this stuff, but it's a mess. And it's going to be a couple of years really before I get to it. So I wasn't really worried about it because I don't really go down in the basement. I mean, literally, I've probably been down to the basement a handful of times since I've lived here. But I said, okay, I got a pool table room. So I bought this little entertainment thing. And you know what? Wayfair. Let me tell you, does anybody buy from Wayfair? Wayfair they be fooling you. Because when you get stuff, like I bought my dining room table from Wayfair. I'm thinking it was this big, beautiful table. It was about this big. So I brought this little entertainment thing. I was like, I'll put this will be in my pool table room. I'll put the games in there. And this big. So I see Cam Harris. What's up, Cam Harris? Decided to join me in the studio. I'm going to get to you in a minute, Cam Harris. Just way back. I see Cam Harris coming to talk black to me. Okay. So make sure you don't say no dumb shit. This is all positivity. So this is going to be a test run. But anyway, so I in my basement, I did this little entertainment center thing. So I put it together myself. Let me show it to you. It's tiny. I thought it was way bigger than this. But I did that. All by myself, you guys. Call me Barbara the Builder. It has my little game. I should have opened up. It has my little games in there. All the board games and Scrabble and all that stuff, right? So that's in there. So this is and I cleaned it up because it was a mess. I wish I'd taken before pictures, but it was a total mess. Because like I said, I don't come out there. But this is what my little pool table room looks like right now. So I did that on Saturday, right? Then my good girlfriend, April, who comes on here with me on Wednesday, she came out. And so we went out to this little lounge called Sobeys. Now, April went with me before and she doesn't pay to get in places out here because she's a performer. So she didn't pay that night, but I did. So we went to Sobeys. Let me see. Had a little good time. Psst, I see dead people. Y'all see April? So that's what I did on Saturday. So yesterday, you guys, I decided, listen, I'm not going to do nothing but sit my fat ass on the couch all day. I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to binge watch TV. I don't want to do nothing. And y'all know last Monday, I started my little diet. So last Monday, I'm down 6 pounds, y'all. So go ahead and give me props. I'm down 6 pounds. And so Sunday was my cheat day. So I was like, I'm going to cook me some soul food, some fried chickens, green cornbread, and some macaroni and cheese. And I ain't doing shit. That's what I said, that I wasn't doing nothing on Saturday. And so my good girlfriend, Carmen, she was like, hey, we got a suite. You want to come? It's the kickoff for the Commanders. You want to come? And I was like, yeah, no, I'm going to go ahead and sit this one out. I'm laying on the couch. And I said, plus, anyway, when you leave? And she was like, in 15 minutes. And I was like, yeah, that's too much. I can't do it. And she said, well, how soon can you get dressed? And I was like, But I got my ass up and I said, you know what? I have not been to a Commanders game. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get up and get dressed. So I got up, and when I tell you, I got dressed faster than I'd ever gotten dressed before. I literally got up, got in the shower, put my makeup on, and put on some wrinkled ass clothes. I didn't realize how wrinkled I was until I see the pictures later. And I was ready in 20 minutes. And she didn't come until like 35 minutes. So I could at least iron my clothes. But I got up faster than I had ever gotten up in the history and gotten dressed. And so on Sunday, I ended up going to the game. And it's so cool. So I watched it.
Hey, watch my soul speak. You let the meds talk. Hey, if I kill a nigga, it won't be the alcohol. Hey, I'm the realest nigga after all. Bitch, be humble. Sit down. Be humble. Sit down. Be humble. Bitch, sit down. Be humble. Sit down. Be humble. Sit down. Be humble.
Hey, I'm so glad I went. Got to meet Kenny Lattimore. He came to the suite. And listen, DC. So the Commanders won, and that was so cool. Wait a minute, I don't think I got it. But let me just tell you, nothing says DC better than Go-Go. And let me see, do I got that video? I think I don't got it. But they had Commanders and Go-Go, like Go-Go music. And if you don't know what Go-Go music is, wait, let me see. Let me see if I can show it. Let me share my screen. I don't got it on here, but let me just show you how they was partying in here. They had a DJ. So there was a couple of people that I knew that had suites, and wasn't nobody rocking like them. So I was just like, okay. First we came up and I was like, okay, they rocking. Whose suite is this? It was her suite. And I was like, okay, oh shoot. They was getting it. So we had a good time. Let me see. Let me go to the oh, here it is right here. Watch this. So Go-Go.
Here we go.
That's that DC Go-Go. Didn't call me cab. So that was a perfect combination of that's DC, the Commanders, Go-Go music, and that was my Sunday. And I still got home in enough time because I had told my son, I said, hey, I told him that morning, I'm about to cook you some, I'm about to cook you, some fried chicken, blah, blah, blah. I said, you want me? He said, what about your diet? I said, I'm sacrificing my body for you, son. Do you not want me to sacrifice my body for you? He was like, yeah, I do. So I got home in enough time and I ended up cooking. The greens didn't get done. So I actually finished the greens this morning. So I just made some green beans in its place, but I made some mac and cheese, fried chicken, and green beans and some cornbread. And then my fat ass ate. And now I'm back to business. I'm back to the smoothie. Just ate an apple. And I got to get it together. So I lost 6 pounds. I got to get down at least 10 more pounds, but probably another 15 pounds. 15 pounds just kind of give me that, that buffer just in case I gain a little bit more. It'll get me to, my goal weight. So that's what I did this weekend. And I see some of y'all said what you did this weekend. So let me see. Thank you, Tamara. I appreciate you. Derek said things are not always what they appear on Wayfair. God dang right. They've gotten me many a times. My table, I'm telling you, my table was like fun size. It was so cute though. But I see Tamisha hung out with her family at the Rockies game on Saturday and the Broncos game. Who won? Did the Broncos win or did the Broncos win yesterday? Who did play? Sophia said she got her hair done and she also went for a walk for life at Victory Park for suicide prevention. I love that community service. What's happening, Tyson? What's crack-a-lacking, Big Mac? And what it do? So I want to get right into. So that was pretty much my my weekend, and hopefully you guys had an awesome weekend. If you follow me at all, you'll understand that I'm very transparent. I just live my life out loud, and I've always done that. And I love that. I love how like Facebook and social media, how it allows you to see the memories, because I've really got to see my kids grow up through social media, just looking at the memories, like little things that my kids said when they were 5, when they were 2, they're grown now. And so when those memories come back up, it's just a reminder, like, I forgot about that, but I remember. So even though people say, oh, you post everything on social media, I do and did and will. So, when you see me, this is who you see if you see me in person. I'm the same person that you see right here. If you see me on stage, if you see me at the club, if you see me getting it in, I don't go to the club, but I go to a lounge. I'm going to be the person on the dance floor. I am an introvert though. I am an introvert. So if it's not music involved, I probably won't be saying anything. I probably won't be saying a whole lot. So even at the thing yesterday, like my friend Carmen is so sweet. This is her sweet. She lives by me. She got a mansion over here. But she's so sweet because she wanted to make sure I was good. And here's the thing. When I'm out, like, I don't want to talk to a whole bunch of people. And she was introducing me to people, which is great because I wanted to be introduced to people. But she was like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, I'm good. First of all, I don't like to do a whole lot of talking. So when I'm with like certain people, I only like to go out with certain people. Why? Because I don't want to be talking to you the whole night. I just want to chill. I don't want to have to, I hate when we in a place and it's loud and they, and I'm like, can you just shut the fuck up? So I'll probably be in a corner somewhere, just minding my business, but I'm having the time of my life. I do not want to be the life of the party when I'm in a situation where it's networking or whatever. But when that music came on, I was up. Like on Carmen's video, I'm on a dance floor. But if it's outside of that, I'm gonna be out the way. Ain't nobody gonna know. They're not even gonna notice me, know who I am or anything like that. That's just what it is. That's who I am. But if you talk to me, we're gonna have a decent conversation because I will talk back. But I'm not gonna go up to you and be like, hey, my name. I'm not. Just because it's just a lot. Anyway, Kim, I don't know why your messages are showing up in 3s too. Because look, they are showing up in 3s. That's crazy. Kim, you ready to get on? You ready to get on with me? Kim can't get on. Okay, Kim. You know what, Kim? I'm trying to bring you to the stage, but it's okay. You ready? Kim, what's up?
Good morning. I am in the middle of making my smoothie, so I'm on mute.
Okay, Kim, what's up? What you want to talk about, girl?
I came to listen to you. What I did was I found you on YouTube speaking through Dr. Boyce Watkins, so I came over to join you like you asked.
Yeah, I love Dr. B. So how long have you been listening to Dr. Boyce?
Off and on, probably about 2 years.
Okay. What have you learned and implemented from Dr. Boyce?
I have not implemented a whole lot because, like I said, I listen to him off and on. Sometimes I will be on the walk and he comes on and I'll listen. Other than that, I just been working.
Okay. So what do you want to gain by listening to Dr. Boyce?
Of course, money management, money savings, and everything that you guys have to offer to teach. I am always listening and learning because there might be something I don't know.
What do you think is the biggest thing you struggle with?
Right now, I would say with today's economy, I was laid off I was one of the people that was laid off. So right now, I'm struggling with that, which changed. It changed everything for me and my family. So I'm back at ground zero because I have to use my savings, in order to live and maintain.
Yeah. Where are you located?
Right now, I am in South Carolina.
What did you do for a living?
Teach.
Okay. And what do you want to do?
I would love to go back into teaching, even though that's not what my actual degree is in.
Okay.
I did like that because I was able to reach out to our kids along with other kids too, but our kids pretty
So
much.
was the layoff part of the Department of Education? It was part of that?
Pretty much. My principal was just like, I wasn't returning, and she told me a week before school let out when she was supposed to tell me back in April. So I thought I was returning, but she told me a week before school let out.
How long had you been in that capacity?
I had been in that capacity a year and a half.
Okay. What'd you do before then?
I went to school for project management. So I worked for the government when I stayed in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have been hit all the way around. So even if I stayed in Florida, guess what? I still would have been laid off.
Yeah.
Working for the government.
It's a possibility, but there's still some opportunities I see that in the government space. There's government contracts. Have you thought about getting maybe a contract? Because there's still a lot of contracts out there. I look on sam.gov a lot, and there's still contracts. You just have to set up your business, and if you can get just one good contract with the federal government, when I showed the people that I was with yesterday, in that suite, they're a bunch of millionaires and been there, but they all have these big federal government contracts, and some of them have $1 billion contracts, $50 million contracts, all different kinds. And you don't have to start off with a huge contract. You can start off with something small, but if you establish your business, like if you have an entity, you sign up with sam.gov and you start bidding on these contracts. Maybe that's something that you could do during the time that you're laid off.
Absolutely. I do plan on, so right now I'm in the middle of getting my Scrum Master certification.
Good.
So I am doing things to make myself better.
Okay.
And I am familiar with SAMs.
Good.
Of course.
Good.
And I would definitely have to reinvent a business to go into SAMs.
You're going to have to. Now is the time to be the business owner. And if you can do business with the federal government, still, they don't have as many contracts as they did. And of course, they went straight for the jugular, specifically Black women. But there's ways to pivot around that and to create your own so that you can start doing, we're a force to be reckoned with, and things are going to turn. But right now it's time to get in position so that you can take advantage of those benefits once they come back around, because they will.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I really want to do.
Absolutely. So like I said, I have to reinvent myself because my business is in travel. So I was, I have a travel business. I'm teaching. So that kind of consumed everything. So like I said, I have to reinvent a whole new persona, a whole new business in order to go into those government contracting. And I did speak to my husband about it. I said, I'm gonna have to do something different aligned with what I actually went to school for and know how to do.
And this is alignment. So I'm so glad that you're on here today, because I don't want you just to be a hearer of the word of Dr. Boyce or myself. I want you to be a doer. And so I really want you to think about what's next for you. Absolutely. And whatever capacity and however I can help, I'm here. Okay.
Yes, I'm about to follow you, because I was like I said, I was on YouTube looking for something totally different. And then when I came across you, I was like, oh, wait a minute. And you said, hey, come join us. Okay, well, let me get over there and see what you're talking about.
Thank you. I appreciate you following me, and thank you. So listen, for all you Black women like Cam, and thank you, Cam, for being on here. I'm gonna let you off stage, but listen, I did a video that I really believe in, just for Black women, and it's about the Black women, the 300,000 Black women who've lost their jobs. And here it is. In 2025, over 300,000 Black women have lost their jobs. And here's what blows my mind. This government had no idea what they were doing when they decided to release brilliance and excellence back into the streets.
They thought they were taking our livelihoods. They thought they were crippling our families. But what they really did, they just unleashed the most educated demographic in America, Black women. We're the ones holding the degrees, the certifications, the credentials, and a lifetime of skills they can't take away from us. And they about to fuck around and find out. Because Black women, we don't crumble. We don't fold. Every rock that they throw at us, we use it to build the foundation for our next chapter. And mark my words, what they're gonna see is new Black business owners launching brands that they can't ignore, new Black real estate investors building portfolios that will feed generations, new Black innovators creating solutions that shift industries, and new Black joint ventures pulling our brilliance and our dollars so that power stays with us. Because here's the truth, they may have underestimated us, but they didn't break us. They just freed us to work for ourselves instead of building somebody else's dream. What's coming next is a new Black wealth class, a class that owns more, earns more, and passes down more. A class that understands we are the CEOs of our own lives and the architects of our own future. So if you're one of those 300,000, this is your time. This is your moment. That layoff was not the end. It was the launch. And the world's about to see exactly what happens when Black women stop asking for a seat at the table and start building the whole goddamn house. Now drop a Black fist in the comments and share this with someone who needs to hear this gem.
Listen, this Black women, there is a targeted effort against Black women. Unfortunately, Cam is one of the 300,000 Black women that were targeted. I believe this is a part of the revenge tour. 92% of us did not vote for Donald Trump, and where's the first place he goes? Into capacities that Black women often occupy. So some was the federal government, it was the Department of Education, it was DEI, it was all of those things. And that's what he did. And so as a result, we have taken the biggest hit. Unemployment for Black people in general is the highest that it's been in a long time. Since COVID. And so for us, we need each other. So I remember talking about, the idea or the fact that Black women were losing their jobs and Black men were celebrating. And it's like, yo, we in this together. So if you, I guess if you don't have a Black family, maybe you don't have a Black daughter or Black mother or Black sister, I guess maybe you're not affected, but this is affecting all of us. And so we're not, just because we have the degrees and we're the most educated, we're not saying that we can't do it without you. We can do it without you. What we're saying is we are educated, but we got to do this together. We are in this together. And the only way that we are going to make it is together. You know that song by Hezekiah Walker? I need you to survive. We need each other. Black folks, we need each other. So for Black women looking to shift and looking to pivot like Cam, hopefully you join the Net 7 Nation. Because that's what we're doing. We are actually making history. We have women from all over the world that are joining the movement in Net 7 Nation. And this is where we are helping the women increase their net worth to over 7 figures. This is where we are closing the wealth gap. This is where we are changing the trajectory of ourselves and our families. And I'm really excited about it. So Net 7 Nation, if you are not a member, you need to be a member while we have the inaugural pricing and while you're still able to become an ambassador, which also gets you paid and gets you leadership opportunities inside Net 7 Nation. So you need to go to net7nation.com. And this is for Black women. This is not to exclude Black men, but there's an African proverb that says, when you teach a man, you teach an individual, but when you teach a woman, you teach a nation. So listen, y'all, I do want to jump into the history of predatory banking and predatory lending. And I want to show you this video, and I want to kind of bring it up and put it in context, because there's a history here of predatory banking, predatory lending, of what's happened to us as Black people primarily. The CFPB has collected billions of dollars in fines from many banks, and it is not a game. So maybe I didn't upload it. Hold up. I have a video and I hadn't uploaded it, which is crazy. Wait a minute. But I want to show it to you so that we can start the conversation around predatory banking. But I don't know if you know that. Let me see. What was the percentage? Because I wrote it down. Wells Fargo was fined $185 million for doing fake accounts, for creating fake accounts. Bank of America was fined for deceptive practices, Citi for discrimination, Citi Finance, Goldman Sachs for mishandling disputes, the Fifth Third Bank for unauthorized accounts and bank repos. And this is directly targeted towards us. And there are specific amounts that I'm going to tell you about, but it's been billions of dollars specifically because they've been, and these banks are already, they're already billion-dollar corporations, some of them almost trillion-dollar corporations. And the reason why they've gotten there is by offering these predatory or providing predatory practices. And so today there are opportunities out there, and I'm going to share some opportunities so that we don't have to continue to be victims in these predatory spaces. And while that video is uploading, I will tell you this. Right after the Civil War, there was what was called the Freedman's Bank that was created. And it was supposed to be a safe place for formerly enslaved people to put their money, and we trusted it. At its height, this is Black people bringing their pennies and their nickels and their dimes. The Freedman's Bank had more than $70,000 Black depositors. The equivalent of the amount that they had was $57 million in today's dollars. And I'm going to tell you what happened.
Let me tell y'all another story that I'm sure you've never heard in school. A story about how right after slavery ended, Black people tried to do what this country said we should. We saved our money, build wealth, and secure our future. And we did it with the hopes in our heart and the faith in this new thing called the Freedman Savings Bank. You see, in 1865, after 400 years of free labor, we didn't get reparations. We didn't get land, but we did get a bank. It was supposed to be ours. It was marketed to us as a safe place where formerly enslaved Black people could deposit their hard-earned money, gain interest, and build a better life. Over 61,000 of us believed in this dream. We walked in and made deposits, nickels, dimes, dollars, whatever we had. We believed in America's promise, but what we got was betrayal. Because behind the bank were white trustees, not one Black person on the board, who were gambling with our money like it was a poker game. They loaned it out on shady businesses. They made risky investments. And when the economy crashed in 1873, our money disappeared. Gone. By 1874, the Freedman's Bank collapsed. Over $3 million in bank deposits, worth more than $80 million today. It was stolen, not lost, stolen. No insurance, no reimbursement, no justice. Family who saved for homes, land, education, their whole life savings, gone. Generational wealth that they were trying to build, destroyed, and not a single one of those trustees was ever held accountable. This was just one of many times we were robbed while trying to play by the rules. They tell us to pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps, but baby, we didn't even have shoes. And one of many times that we tried to build something from nothing, they burn it down, they bankrupt, or they flat out steal it. So when people question why we push so hard for Black ownership, Black banks, and group economics, it's because history has taught us that we can't trust the systems that weren't built for us. But guess what? We still rise, y'all, because our resilience is generational too. So now it's up to us to reclaim what was stolen. We got to teach our kids financial literacy. We have to invest in each other, and we got to support Black banks, build Black businesses, and close the wealth gap with strategy and not struggle. Because being woke means we ain't just aware. We're wealthy, outstanding, knowledgeable, and empowered. And this time, we ain't gonna let them steal it. Now, drop a Black fist in the comments and share this with someone who needs to know this Black history gem.
So you think about this. Black people just out of slavery. A lot of them are sharecropping. We already behind the 8 ball. We have nothing. And so now this supposedly people, our white saviors coming to save us. They open up this bank. We put our everything in here. 70,000 Black people put everything that they had, their life savings, and they gamble it away. And nobody ever got a return. And then you look at historically, so okay, we still thriving. And I always like to talk to you about I like to give you a historical context because it explains why we are where we are, how we are. And many people talk about our situation without really understanding our experience. We're in this position that we are in behind the 8 ball, behind a lot of other people. When you look at statistics, everything good, we're at the bottom, but everything bad, we're at the top. But we did not get here by ourselves. So after Reconstruction, that was after they reconstructed this country, after slavery, we started to, build our communities. What they do when we built our communities, they bombed them, they burned them down. Then we started to put our money in banks. What they do, they bankrupt our banks. And then when they say, okay, we know that land is the number one way, real estate, if you can own some property, that is a way that you can actually generate wealth. When you look at all the millionaires historically in this country and even today, most of them got their wealth and their riches through real estate. It's the reason why I help people with real estate. And if you don't know, if you're new here, I'm a real estate broker. I built the largest Black-owned real estate firm in California. And my mission and goal is just to help people, everyone from all walks of life, specifically Black people, to close that wealth gap, to build their wealth portfolio. And so the way that we can get there is through home ownership. But in the 1930s, they said, okay, we know that, we've already given. So Black folks, let's go back. Black people didn't have no 40 acres in a mill. We didn't get it. And people still believe that we did. White folks still believe that we got 40 acres in a mill when we didn't. We got no reparations. In fact, slave owners got reparations. We didn't get reparations. In fact, white people got 40 million acres of land for free in the Homestead Act of 1863. We got nothing for working this land. 200 years at that point, 250 years. We got nothing. Then the little that we could scrounge up, put it in the bank, they take it. Then they say, okay, we're going to make home ownership affordable for everybody. But what did they do? They redlined us. We're going to give everybody else a loan, but we're not going to give loans to people in this neighborhood because this is where Black people live. And we're not giving Black people no home loans. So what do? So now we can't participate in the wealth building process because they won't give us loans. They're only giving them to other people. And so what do? So you fast forward. Now, when they do start to give us loans, they give us higher interest rates. They offer predatory lending. And this is the result. So I don't know if you know. Let me break down some facts. Okay. So like I said, Wells Fargo was fined $185 million for fake accounts. Bank of America was fined several times for deceptive practices. Citi, $25.9 million for discrimination. Fifth and Third Bank, but I'm going to give you all of the banks that were fined due to predatory practices. Okay, so in December 2022, the CFPB ordered Wells Fargo to pay $1.7 billion in civil penalties, plus more than $2 billion in redress to harm consumers, to bring the total payment up to $3.7 billion. That's the Wells Fargo. How many of you on here have a Wells Fargo? How many people on here have a bank with Wells Fargo? Let me look in the comments. Anybody bank with Wells Fargo? Anybody? I'm just looking. Okay. Sophia, you do. Yeah. Yeah, he said that's a drop in the bucket. Wells Fargo made $1 billion last year in NSF fees. Yeah. And part of what the CFPB did is they made them reduce the NSF fees, right? So now there's a cap on the NSF fees, which is what, $10. And I think what Elon Musk was trying to do was destroy the CFPB, which is a watchdog, which is a totally separate governmental entity. They tried to get rid of the CFPB, which was a watchdog, which was fining these banks for practicing predatory banking practices. And it was bringing in money to the federal government with the fines. What will be the reason why they will get rid of the CFPB? Because the CFPB, these banks were lobbying these politicians. They're not looking out for your best interest. You got a watchdog that's supposed to be looking out for your best interest, your pockets, that are limiting fine fees to the consumer, but you want to get rid of them, and they're not costing the federal government any money. They're actually bringing in money to the federal government. It's crazy. Cam said, I used to until it took my money and closed my account. Yeah. Christina has Wells Fargo. Sonia Sandifer. Wisdom says that she has a credit card with Wells Fargo. A lot of us do. A lot of us do. So that's 3.6. So, and then 2016, going back to 2016, they were fined $100 million for secretly opening unauthorized accounts. And Booker said that his sister was pressured to open accounts with Wells Fargo. Fifth Third Bank, they settled in 2024 for $20 million, $15 million for opening unauthorized accounts, $5 million for forced auto insurance practices. In addition, the bank must compensate over 35,000 affected consumers. In 2023, Citibank had a combined total of 25.9 million, comprised of 24.5 in a civil penalty and 1.4 million in redress to harmed consumers. This was for discrimination. At Goldman Sachs, there was a 2024 settlement. So this is all within the last few years. This is not ancient history. Apple, at least 19.8 million in redress to customers. So this is just a few of them. There have been a lot more, and I've talked about it before. But this is specifically affecting your bottom line, Black people. And we have to understand, well, why would they do this to people who are paying them that they're getting money? First, you got to understand, when you have your money in the bank anyway, the bank is using your money to make more money. You're not making any money with your money in the bank. Your money is making, look at it. See how much interest you get when you put your money in the bank. The interest that you get is on average 0.23% interest. So you might have $10,000. Let me do this. Let me ask Chat GPT. If I had $10,000 in the bank at 0.23% interest, how much will I make in, say, 5 years? So if you had $10,000 in the bank, 0.23% interest, you would actually make on your $10,000, you've made in 5 years $115 worth of interest. So you got your money in the bank. And what they're doing with your money that's in the bank is they're taking your money and they're investing it in vehicles that generate compounded interest, like permanent life insurances. So your life insurance, if you have a permanent or an IUL life insurance policy, and you take that money and you invest it in a vehicle like that, or maybe an IRA or something like that, where, say, the interest rate is 7%. So I'm going to take that same $10,000 that I had in a regular bank account, and I'm going to put it into a insurance policy, 7% compounded interest, because I don't know if you know what compounded interest is. Einstein said compounded interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Those who know about it earn from it. Those who don't, pay it. So if you had 7%, you had that same $10,000 in the bank for 5 years, you would have made $4,000 as opposed to that $100 that you have sitting in a Wells Fargo or Bank of America or a Citibank. But what they're doing with your money is they're taking your $10,000 that you have in the bank and they are investing it in other vehicles that they're making money from. In addition to charging you fees, NSF fees, and all the other ways that they're monthly charges, all the other ways that they're making money from you. That's not fair, but that's what's happening. And so we have to do a few things when we're looking at banking. I know we're taught to open up a checking account, and we're taught to, we have to have, like, I own a mortgage company. And one thing you got to know is, if you want to get a loan, you absolutely have to have a bank account. You can't really get a loan without having a bank account or having some type of account. So you could have but they want to see that your money, where your money is. You can't put your money in the mattress because you can't verify your income. So you have to have something. And then you have to have a place where you can pay your bills. Right? So they made it kind of mandatory for us to have bank accounts. But if you have any kind of savings, I would put it in a vehicle that gave me some type of compound interest. I would not have it in the bank, even if it's in the stock market and you just had something that you wanted to put in there and that you're just putting money in there. Say you put $50 in there a week, or you put money in there every month. You have a direct deposit going into your stock account every month, or a direct or your Acorns account or something like that. But you have money that's you're taking out of the bank, because if you're using your bank to pay bills, that's one thing. But if you're using your bank to save money, don't do that. Put your money into a vehicle that's going to give you interest on the money, and not take your money and make interest off of your money. Take your money out the bank. Okay. So we got to be smarter about our decisions. Read everything. Don't sign anything blindly, because there's fees, there's interest rates, there's all these things that we don't even know. My daughter had a bank account and she had no idea, like, okay, if I put no money, I'm gonna be negative in a minute. She had no idea that if she didn't put no money in there, they charging her $10 a month anyway. Many of us have those same types of things where they're charging us those same fees, where they're charging us $10 a month. So if you don't put no money in there, at some point, they're gonna start charging you fines. And you ain't even got no money in there. So they taking a little bit of money you got out. And then if you don't have no money in there, they're going to charge you some type of fee for not having money in there. They're getting you every which way. They doing you with no vaseline. It's crazy. So I would just use my money in the bank just to pay bills if that's what you need. But now there's all kind of mechanisms. You can pay bills on Cash App. There's all kind of ways that you can pay bills that we can really fight back against these banks. Build your credit strategically. Use your credit for assets and not liabilities. So don't go spending money on things that don't make money. If you can, try to support yourself and buy things. And as you're building credit, do it on things that are going to make you money. Make sure you're diversifying. So not just having it in, a stock account, like I said, Acorns and I have all of these things. I have a little bit of money. It don't got to be a whole lot of money. You don't got to have thousands of dollars. It could be $100 over here, $100 over there, but at least it's doing something. And you're taking your power back by not having it all in one place. And make sure that as you are protecting your accounts, one thing that I see so very often is that people will have these accounts. Nobody plans for death, but then your kids don't know how to access your funds. So you die, you have no beneficiary on your account. Nobody knows how your account is frozen. So once they get notified that you're dead, your account gets frozen. Then it can end up going into probate. So if you do have a bank, make sure that you have a beneficiary on there. And most importantly, make sure you have a living trust. I don't know if you know, 70% of white people who own property have their homes in living trusts. 70% of Black people who own property do not have their homes in living trusts. So it's the education is not there. We just don't have any type of estate planning, right? The education is just not there. I did a video a couple of years ago about living trust. It went viral. I was teaching the class the other day. I reposted it on my Instagram and it went viral again about living trust. Because people are like, their minds are blown because Black people generally don't know about living trust and asset protection and planning. And a lot of people said, yeah, living trusts are expensive. They could be anywhere between $1,500 to $3,000. But I was on a podcast some months back. I think it was back in January. And I was telling people how to do their living trust using ChatGPT, because I have a living trust that I was updating. I was just updating the living trust that I had that I paid $3,000 for. And I created an ebook on ChatGPT on how to create your living trust using ChatGPT, all the prompts that you need to create a solid and legal living trust, and have all your power of attorney and your medical directives, everything that you need to have inside your living trust, that you should have inside your living trust, along with the verbiage for whatever state that your properties are in or that you're in, and then how to record it to make sure that it's legitimate, and get it notarized. All of that is inside my ebook, and it's only $25. So if you don't have a living trust, and that takes care of your bank stuff, that takes care of your fees, that takes care of all that. But if you don't have one, then you need to get one. You can go on my website. You can go to makemylivingtrust.com, and that will help you get you started. And you can take it, do all the instructions, all the prompts. It's helped thousands of people. All the instructions, all the prompts, and take it to an attorney. Have an attorney look over it. At least they're not going to have to prepare for you, but have them look over it. But ask an attorney up front, they're going to be like, oh, you don't want to do that. That's cutting into their fees. It's cutting into that $3,000. But the bare minimum that you could do if you are Black and if you are not leaving your inheritance to your children, is to sin before God. The Bible says that a good man, a wise man, leaves an inheritance for his children and his children's children. And we are working so hard to teach you wealth and to build our wealth and have, diversify our portfolios and do all these great things. The buck stops with us when we're not passing it on to our children. We're doing it for our kids. We want them to get a head start. We don't want them to get it out the mud. We don't want them to have to start over. And a lot of times they will have to start over because there's no directives set up in place. So the best thing that you can do so that your children will not be fighting each other is to make sure that you do something that's going to protect them and keep that wealth going that you've worked so hard. That house that you bought, that's your wealth plan. That's what you've worked hard to establish. Even if you have one house, whether you have one house, 5 houses, or 10 houses, you need to have it in a living trust. If you have a little piece of land, you need to have it in a living trust. Even if you have a mortgage on it, because that's a question I get a lot. Well, what if I have a mortgage on it? Can I still get a living trust? Absolutely. Okay. So a mortgage does not prevent you from getting a living trust. Refinancing it does not prevent you from getting a living trust. You just have to make sure that you put it back in the trust once you're finished. Once you're finished refinancing it. Just make sure that the title company puts it back in the trust name and you're good to go. But it's paramount that you do that because we're building wealth where, I don't want to beat you upside the head with it, but we got to continue to build wealth. But what's even better is that we pass it so that, man, my children's children know who I am because I left them something. I left them a legacy. Your name don't got to be in bright lights. Your name simply has to be a piece of something that was left for your children's children. Okay. And the way to do that, pass it easily, is through a living trust. Okay. So the other thing too, is if you are going to use a bank, I want to encourage you to bank Black. I'm going to say that again. If you're going to bank, I want to encourage you to bank Black. What does that mean? There are over 40 Black-owned banks out there across the country that you can do business with. Historical banks and some banks that were just opened. So I'm going to give you some Black-owned banks, and I want you to. I'm going to put it up on the screen for a minute. Take a picture of it, screenshot it, or whatever. But I want you to look at these banks, and I want you to start patronizing these banks. So pull your money out there if you're not ready to put all your money into a Roth or a IUL. If you're not ready to do that, at least bank Black. Okay? Y'all ready? All right. So let's go. All right. So Citi First National Association, they're in Washington, D.C. They're established in 1998. Industrial Bank, All-America Bank, Commonwealth National Bank, Citizens Trust Bank, and Carver State Bank. Now we have Citizens Savings Bank and Trust Company, Unity National Bank of Houston, Columbia Savings and Loans Association, Carver Federal Savings Bank, the Harbor Bank of Maryland, Mechanics and Farmers Bank, Optus Bank, GN Bank, Liberty Bank and Trust, One United, First Independence, and finally, Adelphi Bank, Warsaw Federal Savings and Loans Association, First Security Bank and Trust Company, Tioga Franklin Savings Bank, and United Bank of Philadelphia. So if you cannot remove your funds from the bank, I want to encourage you to bank Black. Okay? And if you did not get that then I want you to go back and rewind, take it down, do your research still. I'm not telling you to blindly just put your money in any black bank. I still want you to do your research so that you can see what is the best fit for you. Because it's time that we take control of our finances. It's time we take control of our lives. Whether it's the doctor you go to, you have autonomy over your body. You have the authority. Whether you bank. So I said that because for so long, we've entrusted the system. And the system has failed us. And so we have to take control over our lives. And that's through these decisions that we make. So that's reading what's going on. What are the fees? Which bank is closest to me? Maybe I like the convenience of going to a place where I can walk in. Some people may be okay with going online. I have not been to the bank in years, but it all depends on what your goals are. But I just want to encourage you as we're talking about collective economics, because they're trying to push us out. They're trying to close the African American History Museum. They're trying to do all of these things to erase Black history. They're trying to marginalize us even more than we've been in the history of this country. We have to take control. We got to stop relying on them to do right by us, because what history shows us is they've never done right by us. Okay. So that's what I wanted to tell you today. I want to encourage you to bank Black. I want you to just be very cognizant of where your money goes. And if you're a woman or a Black woman, I want you to know I coach Black women all over the country. And I do it with a group called the Net 7 Collective. This is an inner circle of women that I have that I specifically coach. This is a program of women that I meet with every week. And I pour into them and I help them. And we've created just a major movement. It's history making, you guys. It's something that I've seen. And you know what it is it's like all the things that you go through, they're for a purpose. And like when I was actually going through the things that I was going through with my divorce and all these things and all the stuff was happening, I knew it was going to be for a purpose. I didn't know what the purpose was. I knew that it was going to be greater later. And Net 7 Collective has proven to be that purpose, passion project that God has just placed upon me and has helped, over 80 women that I personally coach. And so what we did is I said, I want to make a bigger impact. And I want to be able to reach more people because I really want to make history with Black people and just closing the wealth gap. And so that's how we developed the Net 7 Nation, where we have chapters that are popping up all over the country. And so just to give you a little bit of more insight of what that looks like and what that is, let me just tell you, where's the Net 7?
I never thought I'd be starting over. After over 20 years of marriage, 4 beautiful children, and building the largest Black-owned real estate firm in California, I thought I finally arrived. Life was good. I was making money. I had a team, investments, a mortgage company. Everything I had worked for, prayed for, bled for, I'd built with my own hands. And then my whole world shifted. Divorce hit me like a wrecking ball. So I abruptly packed up my life, I left my business, and I moved across the country. Not because I had it all figured out, because I needed some space to breathe. And what most people don't know is I was able to walk away and take a 2-year break because I had built passive income. That's what freedom looks like. Having my money work for me when I couldn't even work for myself. And during that time of stillness, I prayed, I fasted, I asked God, what's now? That's when he gave me the vision for Net 7 Collective. I looked around and I realized most of the people who worked for me were Black women. My tribe, my circle, all Black women. And I saw what we needed. We needed wealth. We needed healing. We needed options. We needed each other. I wanted to empower women who looked like me, who had given their all to everybody else, to finally pour into themselves, to build businesses, to invest, to write books, to own something. And baby, they did. Over 80 women all across the country and even globally had increased their net worth. They grew new income streams and they stepped into their power that they didn't even know that they had. But beyond the money, they found sisterhood. And now we're building Net 7 Nation because This movement is bigger than just a cohort. This is grassroots. This is legacy. And if you're a Black woman or you know one who's ready to get free, not just financially, but spiritually, emotionally, generationally, it's time. Welcome to Net 7 Nation.
Yes. So if you are a Black woman or you know a Black woman, Net7 Nation or net7collective.com, I invite you to join our community so that you can continue to be empowered. If you were inspired by anything I said today, if you know a Black woman, so this is this benefits men too, because your wife, your sister, your daughter, your family member can also be empowered and inspired by this, and it could effectuate change in your family, your community. So if you know somebody who is interested in joining our community, have them go to net7nation.com, or they can go to net7collective.com. Do I have Net7 Collective on here? Or they can go to net7collective.com, or just go to my website. And we're happy to just invite them into our community and just allow them to grow and learn and build and share and collaborate together, because iron sharpens iron. Okay. So listen, where you at? I see you, Double A. What happened? Double A said you better turn on your alerts. Why you didn't have your alerts? Huh? Where your notifications at, girl? Why you didn't have them on your alerts? So make sure you go back and watch it. We always love when you come and you participate with us, girlfriend. I love to see it. I love to see you guys. And here's the truth. Let me just tell you. So we talked about banking today, Double A, if you didn't see. And what I want just to impart on you is that we can't afford to idly trust these systems, blindly trust these systems that were never built for us in the first place. You see historically what's happened time and time again. And why do we think they're going to change now? Real power comes when we learn to invest together, practicing collective economics, when we learn to build together. That's why community matters. Because when we pull our knowledge and our dollars and our strategies, what we create is something that is unstoppable. Alone, you can grow. You really can. There's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, we got to go together. And together, that's where we can multiply. That's the heartbeat. It's collaboration. It's collective economics. It's wealth strategies. You can do that inside our community, Net7 Collective, or just by continuing to teach one with the people that you know. So I don't want anybody sitting on the sidelines. I want you to get connected with whatever is going to improve your life. I want you to get moving with people who are going to help you in some way build your legacies. For me and my community, it's called the Net7 Collective, because I do really believe that together that we can close a wealth gap. I do believe that we can shift the narrative of what's been talked about our people and who they say that we are, that we know that we are kings and queens. We got to be willing to leave something powerful for the next generation, because wealth is bigger than just money. It's impact, it's freedom, it's legacy, and the time to build it, the time to make history really is now. So I just want to encourage you all to continue striving. I appreciate y'all being here. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. And Cam Harris, thank you for coming on with me and chopping it up about what it is that you're going through. I hope that you join our community in Net7 Nation. I think it will be a great community that will just help you kind of get those ideas flowing. A lot of people who come into our community, they come with one idea in mind and they leave with something totally different. They build something totally different. And I love that for them. So hopefully all of you guys will join our community, because again, as Black people collectively, what happens with one positively is going to affect our entire nation. All right. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And I'll see you Wednesday. Oh, you know what? I may not see you Wednesday. I'm going out of town on Wednesday. I'm going back to Cali. But I'll come on Thursday. I'll be on Thursday with Dr. Jones. We'll do our thing. I'll be doing it from California. So it's not my favorite place to be, but I'll be out there. I'll see y'all maybe on Wednesday, but definitely on Thursday. All right.